Well, this is a Variety Kid, and this actually happened 6 months ago at this point. But actually, all right, I've asked many people, or I've asked a few people if they want me to talk about this on my channel, and they said yes. So here it is. I'm going to talk about what it was like up when we went to College Station when it snowed. Okay, so we're actually going to start with the part that was less interesting. This was on our way up. It was actually snowing pretty hard on the roads we were going to. I have some video clips here for y'all. Okay, so this was actually about 7.5 miles south of Navasota. As you can see, we're going really slow, and everyone else is. The roads are kind of icy. There's not really all that much snow. And like the sky is like very not clear, as you can see there, and yeah. Yeah, especially the shoulder where people don't drive, that's especially icy. And yeah, this is really only the beginning. It'll get more snowy later on.
San Jacinto.
That's kind of far. But yeah, like Blackberry, it's kind of heavy.
Okay, so as you can see here, the road is considerably more icy. This is a feeder road. So yeah, that naturally makes sense, especially for a semi-rural area. And actually, if you look real closely, you can see a backup with the traffic coming towards us. Yeah, on the other side of the freeway. And yeah, my dad's going about, I saw the speedometer in this video at one point, and he's going about 30 to 35 miles an hour. Yeah, and this is about 4 to 6 miles north of Navasota.
To lose control.
Wait, what?
It doesn't take much to lose control and have a crash.
What if this was
Are we gonna find a place to play?
I'm trying, Jake.
Whoa! Then at one point we got out of the car to like go look at some snow and play in it. Or this was in between Navasota and College Station. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like it kind of pales in comparison to what happened when we got up to College Station to see the friends we got to see. But however, yeah. I mean, or actually, this is a video of me like going down the hill.
Oh god. Hold on, I got some picture. Yes, Chef! Take a picture of us.
Wee! 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 Wow! I mean, it was fun, but I don't know. I mean, I wasn't really I wasn't consistently stable. Like there was a lot of friction due to the grass. Yeah. So when I was there, I was gonna say that on the adjacent frontage road, I saw a sign that said speed limit 55, and I'm actually into speed limits, so I actually know quite a bit about it. But I made a joke by saying you can't or about how people couldn't drive 55 on that road. But however, unlike Sammy Hagar's complaint for 55 was too fast and not too slow because of the really snowy road. Then actually, this was actually after we got onto the road because this wasn't planned originally, but because we felt like the snow would stay there, we decided, or my dad decided to call Joe, who was a friend of I meant Joe was the dad. We're friends with the whole family, or we used to be. I mean, but however, my dad called Joe the dad of the house, and he asked him if we could come over to see them as we were in the area. Yeah, or by the way, in case y'all are wondering, these are some friends we used to know from church. They actually moved to College Station, I believe, because the dad got a job, and yeah, I know, yeah, I actually loved seeing them. Yeah, and now it's time for me to talk about the much better part, the part I loved way more than the other stuff. Now, actually, before I tell you about it, here are some videos and images of what it looked like in the College Station area, where we were more north compared to where we were previously in Navasota and in between Navasota and College Station. Okay, so as you can see, there's like quite a bit more snow. There's actually snow on the off of the road, and actually, in case y'all are wondering, there isn't snow on the feeder because we're in College Station, which is a city with a fair amount of people. But however, if you looked earlier, there was like quite a bit of snow on the shoulder where people don't drive, and yeah, it's much more snowy here. I've actually said, or several times, like once we got up there in the car and at their house, I did say several times that this didn't even feel like Texas, and that it felt like an alternate place because like it didn't feel like we left Texas, and it didn't feel like Texas either.
Okay, so turn right at the next traffic light onto Rock Prairie Road at the Bel Air.
Walking in a winter wonderland.
Oh my gosh, Jake! Do not do anything random like that.
Jake's gonna do his best, Levi, okay?
Yeah, leave it. So as you can see here in this photo, there's a ton of snow. Actually, sometimes we go up to Pennsylvania to see family, and it doesn't even look like Pennsylvania gets this much snow. This looks more like New York, Vermont, or Massachusetts. It really looks like a winter wonderland. So actually shortly after we got there, like, I don't know, we said hi to the family, obviously, as I really missed them. I will say that that none of their 3 kids were outside much when we were there, but however, at the beginning, I was playing in the snow with my 2 brothers who also went. Here is some video footage of it.
This is like a lot of inches of snow.
Yeah!
No, it's not Callum. Yeah, probably.
Yeah! I love how you don't just run away from me.
I wish usually there's more on in like your backyard and just eat snow.
Don't eat the yellow stuff.
Where's the yellow stuff?
Yeah!
Is it freezing cold?
Whoa!
Oh, it's so cold. You better get out of the bed.
Whoa! Yeah, and then actually in this image, you can't really see it very well, but like, I don't know, if you go beyond what's shown at the bottom of the picture, there is this like ledge that you can jump off of, or it's something like that. I actually jumped off of it a few times. It was really fun jumping into the snow. I later told the parents about it and how it was really fun, and I showed them it, and they did tell me that it's not really designed for jumping and that I shouldn't really do that because I don't really know what they're called. They were buried in the snow, but there were these things that could hurt my feet if I land on them. Some things that like stick up. I don't really know. They're not really thorns. But however, anyways, they told me that if I land on them, they could hurt me and they could even go through my shoes. So yeah, they didn't really want me jumping or down that ledge, which was a bit of a disappointment. I didn't get any footage of me doing it, but it was really fun. I kind of wish I did actually. Yeah. I mean, I can't remember everything, but I do know at some point Lauren and Catherine, their 2 daughters came out, and I believe I did throw some snow at them. I at least remember throwing snow at Lauren. Yeah, it was really fun. She really didn't play as I said before, she really didn't play in the snow that much. I probably would have wanted to, but, or however, she really didn't. Then actually later on, Joe took Catherine to this hill, Actually, originally, I wasn't sure if I wanted to go. I kind of wanted to stay there, because, like, the plan wasn't for me to hang out with them. But however, I decided on going, and actually my dad also went with them. And then actually on the way there, they actually have a driveway that slopes down kind of, so Joe was having a hard time getting out the driveway, and actually he did say that, that we might not be able to go, and then I told him, you know how to drive in snow, and then he said, well, part of knowing how to drive in snow is knowing when not to drive in snow. Yeah, actually, I've actually never really driven in snow. I'm actually only 18, and it doesn't really snow here, as you'll probably know. But however, actually on our way there, I told Joe, hey, you should go 70 miles an hour. It'll be really fun, and there's no one else on the road. And then that's when Joe told me, it's pretty clear that you don't pay for car insurance, which I find that pretty funny. That was easily the funniest part there. Yeah. Yeah. And then actually I did tell him as a joke, actually, you're right, I don't pay for car insurance, because I'm under my parents' insurance, for y'all who don't know. But yeah, anyways, back to the point. So, yeah, actually actually when we got there, Catherine got out to play with some of her friends, and then actually originally the plan was for me to stay in, but actually Joe didn't want to go home until Catherine got back in the car, because he wanted to drive in snow as little as possible. So actually, this was easily the best part. That gave me an opportunity to get out, and originally I wasn't going to go sledding with them just because I felt like I wasn't invited, and I didn't really know them well, and they were, and actually Catherine and her friends were a few years younger than me, so yeah, yeah, so I didn't really have plans to hang out originally, but actually, Catherine and her friends who I hung out with, they were actually really nice, so I don't know, I mean, I can't really remember. I believe I may have asked to sled, which they did, so I actually got to sled down this hill nearby, and then, yeah, I actually have some video clips of it right here.
Alright, I started it. Go whenever. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Whee! Oh man.
Get like it, kind of like jump. Like go.
Upside down. What do you mean upside
Oh yeah, flip it over.
down? This side down. Oh, this side? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now try it. Whee! Way to go.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, videoing. Get like a running start.
Oh man. That was kind of a false start.
Mhm.
I might take my jacket off so I can go faster. I'm willing to risk the cold. Overall, I actually did really have a fun time with them. I mean, our sledding was probably the best part I can remember, but I do remember I liked talking to them and about other stuff that we talked about. I really can't remember what we talked about. Yeah, but I do know at one point I actually decided to throw a snowball at my dad into Joe's car. He did stop me, and I don't know, yeah, I'm not really surprised that he wasn't fine with it. I was almost certain he wouldn't be fine with it. Yeah. And then, yeah, overall, overall, it was really fun. I actually said at one point, I said that, that I didn't, that I wanted to come back sometime. I mean, I did understand that if I were to come back sometime this year, which I still actually want to, this was great. But however, or if I still wanted to come back, then I did realize it might not be snowing especially if I come during the summer. But, yeah, but however, the mom told me driving up here is dangerous. And then actually I said as a joke, yeah, you're right. Highway 6 is really snowing. It's really dangerous. You can't really, or you have to drive really slow, and you might accidentally skid if you go too fast. Which I mean, I knew that isn't what she meant, because I wasn't necessarily, because as I said before, it doesn't really snow in this area. But however, yeah, she actually meant Highway 6 is dangerous in general, at least for inexperienced drivers like me. Well, anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I really wanted to talk about this earlier, but overall, this isn't what you voted for. Everyone I asked me to talk about my Honda Civic. In February, I had an update video where I asked you what video y'all wanted to see. I gave 5 choices. But however, no one asked for this, but I don't know. I mean, yeah. So I really wanted to do it earlier. I didn't really, or in fact, actually, if YouTube was still a hobby for me in January 2021, I almost certainly would have posted this. Yeah. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and I'd like you to share your thoughts on the video. I don't really get very many comments usually. Sometimes, in fact, oftentimes I don't get any. So yeah, I'd really appreciate it if you left a comment about the video or something like that. Anyways, bye.